Tough977 here. Today we're playing Farming Simulator 2015. I'm going to do a brief tutorial on how to edit your default vehicles. You'll want to start out using a fresh save game, so you don't want anything else in your file. So you go ahead and start that out, and remember what save game you're using. I'm using save game 2. Select the map that you want to use. This is my second time recording this video. I done this once and the quality was kind of low, so I fiddled around with OBS a little bit and hopefully got things figured out a little better this time around. So we'll just have to see how the video turns out after she's done. Okay, go ahead and load up. You'll see these are the default vehicles that are set out here. And you can see there's, of course, equipment in the shed as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell all of that off. And I recommend having like a money mod or something like that. This map, fortunately, I've edited the default vehicles to where we start out with a pretty nice setup in the first place. So it's not a real big deal for getting money, but in most maps, most default vehicle sets, you don't get this much equipment. So henceforth the reason why we're doing this video. You don't have to use the default vehicles, in-game vehicles. You can use your mods out of your mod file. I don't recommend it, however, if you're going to publish a map. Let's say you're a map creator and you're going to publish your map. If you put it out with a bunch of mods that people don't have, it just creates a headache for them. So it's easier if you're making a new map to go ahead and use the default set. But if you're just doing this for your own personal use, then go ahead and use your mods. That's what we're gonna do today. And I'm not doing a full vehicle set, I'm just doing a few tractors and things like that, for the sake of making things move along a little faster. Mods are especially tricky doing this because they load up in strange places. So if you're doing mods, you don't want to load a whole bunch of them up. What'll happen is they'll pile up on top of each other. That just creates a mess to wrestle with. All of this stuff is time consuming enough as it is, so you don't want to add to it. And there again, you don't have to do all of the vehicles. Let's say you just want to add a pickup, you can add one vehicle to the already existing default set, or a tractor, whatever it is you decide you want to add to the set. We're go ahead and move vehicles, or I'm going to end up having too many on the screen. Have to push it back a little bit. This is, like I said, just basically to get you a general idea of what you need to do. I'm in no way setting up for a full game. It doesn't matter how many mods or how little mods you use. It all works the same. There are a few differences if you're just adding one or two mods to a already existing XML file. I'll try to cover that. You want to keep the video relatively short, of course. And for the sake of the video, we're just going to park everything outside. We're not going to bother bringing it up in the shed. One thing I do want to emphasize on is when you're doing this, make sure you detach your trailers and all your attachments, things like that. Loaders, loader arms. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes they'll spawn up weird. Like trailers are especially excuse me. The trailers are especially susceptible to bouncing off the truck when they spawn up and ending up in buildings, things like that. So when you do this, just keep that in mind. You want to detach any of your attachments. Just simplifies the whole process and makes things function a little smoother. Additionally, you want to add more livestock to your starting map. You know, you want to add some, say you want to start out with 50 head of cows. You can go ahead and buy those cows while you're buying your equipment. Go ahead and buy the livestock that you want, because that's all included in the vehicle XML as well. So that's something to give some thought to as well. It just all depends on your basic gameplay approach. If you want to start out with all the goodies you like the best or the biggest equipment right off the bat, or if you're more into the realism and you want to start a, try to keep this away from the wall. You want to start a farm from scratch and work your way to the top. Oops. You'll have to excuse my driving. My control is just a little out of whack here. I have to readjust it to play Euro Truck Simulator and set it back to what I want here. So, like I say, I'm not putting this away. I'm just kind of putting it wherever. Kind of illustrate that it actually does work properly when you do this. So what do we got here? Now we'll spawn up a few more things to pull around with these. This sewing machine. I'm already spending more time doing this than I anticipated. And this we're just gonna park right here. Trailer's a tad too big for this tractor. I apologize for the amount of time it's taken me to set all this up. I just wanted to illustrate this to you so you could see that it actually does work. Whoops. Alright, shut that off. And you know what? We're just going to leave this tractor sitting here. Now, what we'll do is, you want to save your game as soon as you get everything set where you want it. Once you've done that, then you go ahead and quit the game. Now that we're out of the game, you go ahead and open up your documents file wherever you have your game save. Should be my documents, my game, or documents, my games, farm sim, mods, and you want to find the map that you're playing on. And this is the Featherville map that I was playing on. Excuse me. We'll go ahead and extract that. While we're waiting for that to extract, now we'll just wait for it. Running right about a little a little behind on time, but wait for it to extract out. That way I don't confuse anybody. There we go. Now, go ahead and open that file up, and the XML you'll be looking for will be default vehicles. Once you locate that file, most generally it's in the first screen. Some guys tuck it away when they're map building, but most generally it should be right here in your startup screen. In fact, I don't think I've seen it anywhere else. You'll edit that with Notepad++. If you don't have Notepad++, go ahead and get it. It's a lot easier to see what files are what. It's all in color. Get rid of this other stuff. Okay. This is the file existing in game. This is the one that I started with. And this is how your vehicles would load up. So once we've got that, minimize it. Don't close it out. Just minimize it. And one other thing, you want to take the map that you extracted. You want to locate it. You want to pull it out of your mods file. This is going to be your backup zip file if anything goes wrong. Let's say you get this all done and the game don't load, whatever. You have that backup on your desktop now. So all you have to do is reinstate it, delete the failure, and go. Now we're gonna back up and we'll go to save game 2. Remember I said make sure you keep track of what save game. We use save game 2. The file we're going to be looking for in here is called vehicles. So go ahead and open that up with Notepad++ as well. Okay, now we've got default vehicles and then your standard vehicles. I'm not going to go too far ahead on adding one vehicle because most people want to add multiple vehicles. But let's just say that you do. Each one of these vehicles is parked where it's supposed to be. So if you just take, let's say you want to use this NHT 700 or 9700, you'll just copy this. You'll highlight it from, oops, excuse me. You'll highlight it from the start of the code to the end of the code. Start of the code will just have that parameter start on it, and then this will have the ending parameter. You want to highlight that whole thing, copy just that file, then you want to go to your default vehicles, and you can install it pretty much anywhere. And all to do that, all you have to do, space out, and then paste. Now, if you save that, the game you'll be able to load up the game, and that just that one vehicle will now be in your new default file. But this, we don't want to do that right now. We're doing the entire XML set. So what we're going to do, we're going to start up here. I generally don't. I generally leave the first line just because I don't know why I do. I just do it. You'll highlight everything. These are all included in your default XML file. So you'll highlight all of this, you'll copy it, then you go back to your default file, and you'll highlight the entire default file. Once that's done, you can delete it, and you'll just have line 1, and you'll paste it. Make sure you look at the end of the file, because if you have a space at the end of the file, there's another line like this, then odds are it won't work. So you want to make sure that you keep your coding nice and tidy. Once you've done all that, of course, you can edit little things, your manure fill levels, the silo fill levels, all that stuff. I don't mess with that. I go about the game as real as possible. You can also edit what's in each piece of equipment. Let's say you got a trailer, you want to start it out with some grain in it, yada yada yada. You can go ahead and start out that way. But we won't get into that now. We'll do that for a later video. Now we'll save this file as is. And me, I like to minimize this stuff just so I can pull it back for quick reference. So you minimize that. Then you go ahead and go to your mods file again. And you don't have to do this step right away. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video. Generally, I load this up and make sure it works and then zip it. But for the sake of the video, we're going to go ahead and zip the file. Of course, this always takes longer when you're recording and have other things going on, so bear with me. And you can rename this anything you wish. I just go ahead and go back with whatever I started out with. I might add something like PE for personal edit, things like that. But you can name it basically anything you want. Now we'll go ahead and open in a new window. Open your documents file. And then drag and drop this. You can also copy and paste. I just prefer dragging and dropping. I'm lazy. Copy and paste, whatever, get it in the mod file. Once you've done that, then go ahead and pull this out, because sometimes it'll read one file and not the other. So if you're editing on something, it'll read off of the wrong file at times. Once we've got that done, go ahead and close this down. Now we're going to load it up and make sure the game still works. Get past all that. Now here we don't want to use the same file. We don't want to load the save game up because that would tell us absolutely nothing about whether or not it's reading from the default vehicles. We'll use a new save game. We'll go ahead and load it up. Select your map. And there we go. See, everything is where we parked it. And even this one. So that'll do it for this video. If you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. If you like the video and you want to see more, leave, like, and subscribe, and we'll get more videos out there. For today, thank you very much, Tough977. You guys have a good day.